Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Mannado Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. The only Guru of three religions, the Emperor of spiritual kingdom, Hindu virtue donor, sensational writer, the author of more than 100 divine holy scriptures, Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwar. So, we are knowing the Traita Theeram Bhagavad Gita, written by Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwarlu. So, we are learning about the Sankhya yogamu, 22nd Shlokamu. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnanyanyani samyati navani dehe. So we came to know that the soul will leave the old body and transforms into the new body. It's same like a man who removes his old and ripped clothes and he wears the new clothes. And in the last session we came to know that so there is no life to the baby inside the mother's womb, and some doctors contradicted this this subject. They said that the sperm contains the life in it. Actually, sperm does not contain any life in it. Instead, it will have the chemical parts in it. So, and also we showed the evidence that so when there is a glucose, the sperm is able to move forward. If it contains the life, it should move in all the directions, but it's not doing. It's only going in the forward direction only. And also we came to know that the life or the mortal soul and immortal soul only will enter into the newly born baby if that contains the 25 parts of the body, and if it becomes the convenient to live inside the body only. And the doctors, they are not knowing these facts, so they don't know about the spirituality at all, how mortal soul enters and all those things. They know only physical things. So that's how they are, we can say they are ignorant with respect to the spirituality. So let's continue knowing more details and more explanation what Swami provided to us. So the sperm contains, we have known that it contains a head, neck and the tail. We know that when there is a glucose attaching to the tail, there is a movement to the sperm to move forward. And it's like a ball shape, the head. So when you look close into that and when you do more research on that, you will come to know that there is a brightness or shining inside that ball shape of the part. And this ball shape of the part is penetrating into the egg of the mother's egg. So then only it is forming a fetus there. So it forms the cells. The cells will be divided, multiple number of cells will divide, and they start growing and they start forming a fetus. So So those are like those eggs are in a shape of like a seed shape, and the sperm will go and penetrate into that. After that, it will start forming the fetus body. So that will happen inside the mother's womb itself. So we can consider it as a chemical reaction, but it is not a life entering into that, and it is not the sperm contains the life and life starting there itself. It's totally wrong. It's a chemical reaction. We came to know that. So if there is a movement, everything is not having the life in it. So there are so many stars, they are moving, there are so many planets are moving, rockets are moving, satellites are moving, buses are moving, trains are moving, flights are moving, all those have movement. Do they have any life in it? No, it's not like that. So in a similar way, so if just there is a movement, you should not consider it contains the life in it. So actually that is the chemical reaction it's happening. So they are able to move. So all the so the sperm, when it enters into the into the egg, so then it will start dividing it into the multiple number of cells. Those cells will get the energy, and they will start growing, and it will form a body. And there is a layer inside the mother's womb. So to that it is attached, no, the fetus is attached to that, and there are the blood, what is that, nerves. So blood vessels will be there, so they are attached to that. And from there, it forms a focal thread. It forms a focal thread. From that focal thread, all the nutritions, vitamins and everything are supplied to that fetus body. Within 280 days almost, the fetus body will be completely made perfect. So then after that, mother will deliver the body from body. So that's what happened inside the mother's womb. And in the mother's body, there is a brahmanad, a big nerve is there. We know that it is a subtle part. The big nerve contains these seven nerve centers. Each nerve center will provide energy surrounding to that nerve center. Like that, we have seven nerve centers, and the nerve centers will provide the conscious energy to the mother's body. In the same way, the same conscious energy will be supplied to the fetus body. So we came to know that the baby inside the mother will grow like an organ inside the body, so it does not make weight to the mother's womb. So we compare that example with a mango tree, how the mango will grow from the from smaller one to the ripened state. After that, it will fall down, right? Fall down. So when it is completely ripened, the similar way, when the baby is completely grown inside the mother's womb, once it is done, then with the pressure of the nerves inside the mother's womb, the baby will be pushed out from mother's womb itself. So that we came to know that. So when this what is this one, the big nerve provides all the conscious energy to the fetus also. Because of that, that fetus will be making movements here and there. Sometimes when there is a variation in providing the uh, conscious energy, because of that, there will be some strange observations we can find, and some of the parts will grow bigger, some parts will grow smaller. So we observe that some people will have the bigger head, the heavy head. So some people will have the shorter hands and shorter legs also. So like that, it happens because of the conscious energy, because of that conscious energy. So when mother is very healthy, when the conscious energy is proper, so it's fully perfect, then the baby inside the mother also will grow perfect and come out. Nowadays, the scientists, whoever, they do research on many things. Like they do research on the mother's egg and also on the sperm. They think that they can grow a fetus outside of the mother's womb. What they do, they will make it, they will unite both the sperm and the egg, and they will form a one one kind of what is that, the chemical reaction also happens in the laboratory. After that, what they will do, they will supply some nutrients and vitamins and everything to that flesh. So the flesh will grow for some time, some hours or some days. After that, it will stop, because the environment is completely available inside the mother's womb, but that environment is not there outside of the mother's womb. Since in the mother's womb, the big nerve, the Brahmanadi, is the one which provides the conscious energy and will continue growing the child continuously. But whereas in the laboratory, it is not available, so they are not able to grow the flesh to the form of the human body. So if they get success, then they may say that there is no God at all. We are the God, they say. So that's what they failed in doing that. And also, some people will have some doubts, like, so we have one mythology. So in that mythology, Hiranyakashipa was the king, his demon king, and the who is that? Prahalad. Prahalad was his son. The Prahalad was chanting always Narayana mantra, because Narayana was considered as God in the mythology, and the Hiranyakashipa was the demon who was against the Narayana. So he wanted to kill that Narayana. So how the son of Hiranyakashipa was able to chant Narayana mantra? They told one story that Narada, Saint Narada, came to Hiranyakashipa home when Hiranyakashipa's wife was pregnant. During that time, he told Narayana mantra. So that mantra was heard by that fetus inside the Hiranyakashipa's wife womb. So the fetus, the baby, when she delivered, after that, Prahalada was continuously chanting Narayana mantra, and he became the devotee of Narayana or Vishnu. So this seems to be completely false, really false, because the mythologies are just narrations of the poets. Whatever they think, they do that. So they wanted to bring the people to show more devotion on Lord Vishnu in mythology. So they narrated the story in such a way. So if a fetus could able to listen to the words of the human beings when that fetus body is growing inside the mother's womb, so in that case, who stopped them listening to that? Did anybody tell that they listened this, they listened that when they were in the mother's womb? Nobody told that. If that is the case, people might be doing something like, so the similar way, there are some IIT institutes, they train the kids from the LKG, kindergarten onwards for IIT preparation itself. So why do they stop there? What they will do, they will gather all the pregnant ladies, and they will tell that your kids are going to join in IIT if you get training when your baby is inside itself. So that's totally wrong. We should not consider it is the true what they said in the mythology. So some people may say that, so how come you contradict the words of the great people who wrote those mythologies? See, you need to understand between what is righteousness, what is not unrighteousness. Here you need to understand the things in a right manner, and the righteousness is the one which is scientifically binded. So that you need to understand, that you have to learn. So Bhagavad Gita, what it says righteousness. So you need to know that in the right manner. And also the matters what we are revealing to you are related to the mortal soul and the immortal soul, because mortal soul cannot survive without immortal soul, and immortal soul is having a duty to um, take care of the mortal soul. So that's why these two are pair souls. So the teachings whatever Swami provided, they are applicable to all the insects, birds, and the animals, all those things. So there are three kinds of births. So one is through bodies, one is through eggs, one is through the seeds. These are three kinds of creation created God has created. So we are learning about the how the baby is getting born from the mother's womb. That's related to the one first kind of creation. So some people may question that how come this is applicable to the uh, birds borning out of the egg itself, since egg does not have the life in it. So we need to know about that in detail. So if you see an egg of a chicken, so the chicken egg contains the shell and the thin layer inside that. There is a white liquid and the yellow liquid, that is called yolk, I think. And inside that yellow liquid there is a one center portion that we can say uh, it is a reason for the birth, that we can say it is a seed for life. Seed, we can say it is actual seed. We can say it's a male part, and the yellow part is female part. So when male and female both join together, so then there is a body, then the flesh will start forming it. So when there is a chicken, there should be a rooster. So both will mate together. Then chicken starts giving the eggs. It may deliver eggs like every day one, like something we can say it's about 20, 30, whatever the number it may be. So after that, one stops delivering the eggs. So then chicken, what it does, it starts hatching that. So then what happens, it will keep on rolling the eggs underneath, under its what we say wings, and the egg will be touching to its body. The chicken will have the temperature of about 40 degrees centigrade. So the eggs will form as a chicken inside that, when there is a how about 40 degrees centigrade. So like that it will keep hatching that for 20 days or 30 days. After that, so inside that egg the chicken will be formed in a very perfect manner. So in nowadays there are some incubators machineries they are using to form an egg, form a chicken out of that egg, because by providing the 40 degree centigrade continuously, and the machine will be rolling that egg continuously. So the eggs are turning out to be as a chicken, so after some days. So in some instances what they will do, they will make unfruitful eggs also from that egg. So nothing will be coming outside, because it will not have male part inside that, inside the egg. So that's what they are doing. So when it is forming, the yellow part, inside that yellow part, center part will be there, that we consider it as a male part. When there is a temperature, because of that temperature, the yellow part will mix, that female portion will mix with the male portion in that, and it will start forming the new substance there, and it will start forming the flesh inside the egg. So it will be growing, that there is also the division of cells, and getting the and utilizing the all the amount of the nutritions and everything inside the egg itself, and it will form the complete structure of the chicken itself. So once it is formed, so what happens thereafter, see. So we knew that, so when mother delivers a baby, the first birth is considered as the birth, because the breath comes first time, so the baby takes the first birth. After that, then it starts breathing, and starts crying there itself. In the similar way, so what God created is, God created the egg in such a way, He has provided a air chamber there. That air chamber is between the shell, hard shell, and the small and the thin layer. There is a empty space, that is the air. So when the chicken is completely formed, what happens? So when completely formed, that is the time to enter the mortal soul and soul into that body. So when it enters, that is considered as the birth of the creature. So then what happens? So immediately when it enters, it will take the first breath from the air chamber. The air inside that air chamber, it will take the first breath. So once it takes the first breath, it has to breathe out. So how it can do breathe out? So in order to breathe out, there should be a space, and also it has to take the inhale also. It has to do inhale and exhale both. In order to do that, there should be a place, there should be a hole, there should be a facility. So since there is no facility, it will become like, it will become like, so I can't survive, something like. So then immediately what it will do, it will poke the egg, with its nose. Then egg will have a hole on that. From that hole, it will inhale, the chicken will inhale. So after that, it will have the movements to come outside, it gets the movements. Then the egg will be broken into two parts, and the chicken comes out, and it will start living from there onwards. As there are some abortions happening for human beings, in the same way, for the eggs also, there are some eggs which are rotten eggs, we can say. Those eggs are rotten, they are not eligible, they can't become the chicken. So the similar way it happened. And the third one, we need to understand the third one. So the egg, how it is forming as a chicken, it is the second part of the creation of the God. The third part of the creation of the God is there, that is for the plants, how they grow, the plants, how they how the germination is happening for the seeds. So these seeds are, when they are sowed into the soil, what happens? So if you see the structure of the seed, the structure of the seed will have two parts in it. There are two parts. If you split the seed, there are two parts, and inside that there is a sharp nib also there to the seed, and the seed will have some space to some water into that. So that's why when you soak the seeds, they start swelling. You can see they start swelling. So when you put the seed inside the soil and supply water to that, then it will start swelling. So the sharp nib part, we can consider it as a male part, and the female part we can consider the two parts. When we split that, we will get two parts, right? Those two parts, we can say, inside that seed, we can say it is a female part. So when the water is supplied to that, because of that water, there is a chemical reaction happens. That with that chemical reaction, the male and female, both of them will get into the chemical reaction over there, and there it starts growing. So one part will grow upward the soil, and another part will go downward the soil. In downward the soil, so it will starts creating the roots and all. So, and the upper part, what happens, the seed will germinate, and you can see some leaf kind of things. In two parts it comes. So that is the part of the seed itself. To some extent, to some days, some of the days, what it does, that plant will take the food from that, and it starts growing. That's all considered as a chemical reaction only. So whenever the new leaves form to a plant, when there are holes to that plants, and that what is that, there are holes to the leaf, then only the plants will start breathing. See, the breathing is same for all types of creations, even for the chicken, even for the human beings, or animals, and for these things also. So with respect to egg, with respect to body, the creatures borning out of that, we can say that in this moment this one got the life and all. But with respect to the plants, seeds, we cannot say when the mortal soul is entering into the new plant, because we cannot identify that one. So that is what the plants, the seeds get germinated and plants are growing. So the entering of the mortal soul and immortal soul is same to all types of creations, because this is the wisdom told by Lord Krishna, by the God himself. So the thing will be the same. In the same way, how there are some rotten eggs, how there are aversions to the human beings, in the same way there are some seeds which get spoiled, they don't get germinate also. That also happens. So that's why we need to know in detail. So for all the uh, creatures, the life is starting by the first breath itself. Even for the creatures living inside the ocean and seas and rivers and in the water, the first breath is through the water itself. So like that, all the creatures are transforming into the all the creatures are transforming into the new body. So they are getting new body. So when there is a mortal soul, there is always immortal soul, because there is a duty to immortal soul to take care of the mortal soul. So since mortal soul does not do any task, so he will experience only happiness and sorrow out of all the actions which are done by the immortal soul itself. So you need to notice that the explanation what is provided here is completely strange one, very new one. It contains lot of information which is explained very very truly, and with respect to the pig education, Brahma Vidya. So you have to think more, and you have to research on that. You have to understand in a proper way. So even after providing this much of explanation, some people may have some doubt on that, how it's happening. So we have some of the examples happened, they are real world incidents. So if we see that about 30 years ago, in Inadu newspaper, under the Tukiga, there is a title called Gadugai. So that was published 25 to 30 years ago. So what was happened in England country? So one mother went to hospital for baby delivery. What they did all the tests and everything. So they said baby inside the mother's womb is fine, healthy, and this is the right time for delivery. So they gave. So what they did, they delivered the baby from mother's womb. After that, until 1 hour, there were no movements to the baby's newly delivered baby. So what they thought, it's the baby died. Then So then after, her grandmother, the baby's grandmother, arrives to the hospital and she inquires about her her granddaughter, newly born baby. Then they told that she was dead. She was put in a uh, chamber where all the dead bodies of the babies were there. But she asked them to look at her granddaughter. Then they went there, so the baby was covered with a cloth over that in that chamber. So then she removes the cloth and she identifies that there are movements to the baby's body. Then she takes her and shows to everybody in the hospital and even to the doctors. Then doctors thought that they did mistake. Actually, doctors were not mistaken, but their mistake is, so they did not study the Brahma Vidya or big education. They don't know details about how life enters, how life goes from the body. They know only physical things, not the subtle things. So for their mistake, what they did, they kept the baby until 1 month in the hospital and they provided all the facilities, and after 1 month they discharged it. See how see see how the doctors confirmed baby was fine before delivery, but how come they confirmed? So they even doctors even told that baby was dead inside the mother's womb itself. How it's possible? It's not possible. Since they didn't know the Brahma Vidya, they could not able to clearly decide what's wrong, what is wrong happened from their side. So like that, there are some other incidents also. We'll keep knowing about that in the next session. So we are coming to know here that there is no life to the baby inside the mother's womb. So do you have any doubts? Keep posting those doubts. We'll let you know the answers for your doubts or questions. So let's do prarthana and end the session. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Mahaniya Prabodhatmane Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Sadhurupaya Mangalam. Prabodharpanam to everybody. Thanks.